Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Breakthrough with Lew, guys. It is Monday morning. It's 8:08 a.m. Prologue ran a little bit longer than usual, but welcome back, my friends. It's going to be a great week. Hopefully you've had an amazing week from last week and put forth some of the energy into what you learned last week. And this week we're going to talk about something that it's very dear to my heart, but it's going to light a fire, okay? So the title of today's show is Even When You Don't, You Must. This is what builds champions at whatever it is that you're looking to be a champion at. Have you ever felt like you needed to do something, but you just don't feel like it? You know, it was one of those Monday mornings. I'll share with you a little candidly this morning. I woke up and I was like, ooh, I can sleep a little longer. And I'm like, oh no, I really can't. I got the show this morning. And I'm like, oh God, if there's any morning I could have just kind of slept in a little bit more, it was probably this morning. I just felt that, oh, I would have liked to have just slept more. And I was like, what? No, I must. I have a show to deliver. You know, and this is important to approach things like that. Those are the defining moments in life that champions are created and born, or we settle back and allow for mediocrity. Now, you might go, I don't have to be a champion at everything I do. I'm a good dad. I'm a good mom. I'm a good worker. I do a little better than average. You know, I'm better than the person in the cubicle next to me. I put a little more effort in. That's not being a champion. Don't you want to be that person that maybe if you work in that corporate cubicle environment, that person where everybody goes, wow, so-and-so just rocks it all the time. I don't know, they just have that natural ability. And you're going, yeah, I'm pretty good. No, is that, you want to be pretty good or do you want to be a champion? Think of your children if you have children. Do you want them to look at you and go, well, mom or dad was a good parent? Or do you want them to be like, dad was my hero, mom was my rock? You know, you've heard it and you see how people light up when they talk about their parents, and other people are like, yeah, I had a good mom and dad. Or some people had a rough mom and dad. Some people had a rough upbringing and then found out that was the best upbringing in the world because it made them who they were. Champions are rarely born of mediocrity. Well, no, champions are never born of mediocrity. A champion is born on resistance and the ability to step up and work through and break through regardless. Okay? That's a champion. Somebody who gets up, steps up, and goes forward, not that kind of just goes with the masses and goes, well, I'm pretty good, I'm good, you know, I do the right thing, you know, that's great, but you're not a champion. Do you want to leave this earth someday knowing you were a champion, or do you want to leave this earth being average? A champion is when you see one of those funerals when you go, my God, I'm late for work, or I'm late for wherever I'm going because this thing is 20 miles long, as opposed to the one where you see his hearse and 2 cars behind it. Doesn't mean that person wasn't loved. Doesn't mean that they weren't great or a great person, but they weren't a champion that affected many. That's the key. In the long run, it's about the growth and contribution that makes a champion. Okay? The average is the other human needs, to get by, the survival. The champion gets up before anybody else in the morning and hones their skills and gets ahead of the day and does way more than what's expected, even when nobody's watching. That's what makes a difference in a champion as opposed to your average Joe. Okay? Average Joe's just kind of like, well, whatever. You know, I'm doing the right things. I'm good. Doesn't mean average Joe's not cool, a good dude or a good gal. You know, they're all right. They're kind of fun. And, you know, when you're down and out and you want to rant and rave with a friend, they're really awesome. You know, you don't go to a champion friend of yours or family member and go, I'm having a rough day. And they go, yeah, little buddy, I know what you mean. Me too. But they go, hey, come on, wake up. Who's that talking? And you go, oh, I got to grow. I got to step up here to be around this person. Doesn't it feel better to be around a champion, even if initially it's a little uncomfortable because you go, they make me realize where I'm falling short, and you sit there and go, I don't know how they do it. Well, let me tell you something. And I mean, we get that all the time. People come up to us, I don't know how you do it. Don't know how you run all the businesses. Don't know how you pull all this off each and every week. And, the show and the auctions and the this and the that and all that you do and the pickups and blah, 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 blah. Well, number one, it's about having a good team. Jen and I make a great team. The rest of the team supports what we do. Now, days I want to kill the team. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys. How many times have we been over that? And other days where I look and go, wow, I didn't have to be watching over any of that. They worked miracles today. And that's like going to be with any team. But it's about surrounding yourself with people who are a little bit more on the concept of champions than average. You want to be the best at what you do. Okay, and it doesn't mean that you're a star and you're on Hollywood, you get a star on Hollywood Boulevard, if there even is a Hollywood Boulevard anymore. It doesn't mean that, doesn't mean you're a TV star necessarily, but that you're a rock star in whatever it is you do. You might go, well, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. Well, the just there is brutal. I wouldn't just, raising your children is an important job, but are you a champion mom, or do you get by? That's the difference. There's champion moms that work 2 jobs and are champion moms, and then there's average moms that don't work any job. See, that doesn't matter. It matters what comes from within and who you identify your inner self to be. Is that a champion, or do you just go, hey, I'm average, I'm just normal, the minute people start saying just, that's a justification, okay? When you say I am, you say it with impact, that's what counts. Ask a champion about their why, and you'll watch them blossom. Why do you do this? Why do you do this show, Coach? Because I know that I'm going to touch somebody today that's going to make a difference in what they do, and they're going to make a difference in somebody else's life today. There's going to be somebody that's going to transform because of something I say today. That's why I do this show. Ask somebody average, why do you go to work? Well, I got to make a living. I got to feed the kids, got to feed the rugrats. Do you see the difference in the energy of why? Okay, I've been the got to go to work, got to feed the new baby, I've been that guy. And I've also been that guy that was like working so hard like a dog for years and years, going, someday I'm going to be successful, someday I'm going to be successful. One day I took out a notebook and wrote everything down, and I was like, I'm successful! And then 2008 came along and wiped it right out. So the point there is, don't wait to celebrate who you are. If you're a champion and you get out there and you do this stuff, feel good about it. You don't have to feel bad about it. What you got to feel bad about is being average. If you're just average or below or just good or decent, that you better start feeling bad about. If you're out there and you're a champion, feel good about it. You know what? If you're a champion and you run into a brick wall and everything crashes and you got to rebuild, so what? That's what champions do. I'd rather go to the top and fall off and have to start over again than be at the mid-bottom a little bit and just be safe. No, it's okay. Life is okay. It's average. Who wants to be average? Who wants to be a champion? That's what I'm talking about. That's who I want to talk to. I want to talk to the people who are champions. And you might go, I don't have a pot to pee in, and I'm just starting over. I'm just starting. I've never done this before. I don't care. I don't judge you. Just because you haven't performed a champion level up until today, I don't care. You can't change it. I mean, honestly, you can look back and go, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well, keep shooting all over yourself and couldn't and wouldn't and taking yourself down, or go, you know what? Hey, I was an F up. I was whatever. I don't care how deep down you fell. You can be a champion today. Because a champion does, even when you don't, you make it a must. That's a champion, guys. Champion doesn't mean that you always knock everybody out every time you go in the ring. You always get the most sales. Now, if you strive for that, that's awesome, because that helps build that champion mindset. But it doesn't mean you always win. It doesn't mean you're, I don't know if you ever heard the song, What a Lucky Man He Was. Old song, oldie. And, it's like, oh, he was so reveled by his country and this and that, but a bullet still took the dude down, right? So a champion is literally how you live. It is how you present your why. It is what you do when you don't feel like it. It's all fine and dandy to do when you feel like it. When you feel great or you feel energetic and you step up and you do something, that's great. It's in the times that you don't want to, that you break through and you make it a must. Those are the times that it matters, guys. That's what makes a champion. So what if you decided to set the trail of a champion today rather than breathing the dust of champions? How different would your life be in a month, 6 months, a year, 6 years, 10 years? Where's your destination? I'm going to stay on the average path. Okay? I'm going to go to be a champion. It's the difference between, taking a flight from Orlando to Miami, and that's your big vacation of a lifetime, or going into space, like Richard Branson. Which one's a champion? And you might be going, oh, that rich son of a bee, bah, 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 bah. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's so funny because I saw something and it was so interesting. Somebody posted it, and it's not mine, but I'm going to borrow it and put it on my Facebook so you guys can see it. Somebody looks at a plane and goes, I wonder how many people he could have fed rather than buying that plane. And the owner of the plane says, I know. I fed many people. The people that built the wheels, the people that built the electronics, the people that worked in the aluminum factory, the people that designed it, the designers. I fed many families that participated in building this plane. I was like, how perfect is that? The loser, and I'm sorry, you're a loser if you look and go, oh, somebody shouldn't have something, they should have given it away instead. If you want to give it away, I'm saying, hey, I'm all about contribution. But it's not required, okay? Contribution comes from the heart. And there are some very wealthy people that could spare some money and help and don't. And there's people that are, moderately wealthy or on the edge that do plenty. That's not a requirement in this world, folks. The requirement in this world is you give according to your heart. But my whole point to that was it was really cool to see the different mindset. The loser was like, how come you didn't throw me some crumbs? Yeah, I'm going to call it what it is. The loser wanted to know why they didn't get thrown some crumbs instead of the man buying an airplane. The champion goes, I spent the money that I earned with folks and gave them jobs and provided a way for them to succeed at the end of the day by buying that airplane. Because there's a lot of money and a lot of people that go into an airplane to creating it and building it and all that, or whatever the product is, guys. I'm using that as an example because it's something I saw and I loved it. That's how you contribute, by giving to people who are willing to do the work. When it comes down to it, I could say, for instance, somebody needs work. They need to work. Okay, come work. Come load trucks with us. And they go, no, just give me $20, man, and it'll get me through the day. I'll be able to eat, and I'll go live in my homeless camp. As opposed to the guy that comes in and goes, you know what? I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I got energy. I'm strong. I'm ready to go, and I'm willing to work. And comes in and busts butt, and you might have to teach him more or whatever. And at the end of the day, you pay him a good wage for doing that, which is a whole lot more than the $20 that the loser wanted. And I'm sorry, if you're offended by the word loser, maybe you better look at the way you view things, okay? Because the loser's the one that wants $20 to go buy another bottle of booze and go sit in an empty field somewhere and drink his sorrows away because life is so unfair. The winner's the one that comes in and busts his butt for a little bit more than that in a day, but at the end of the day, he has a roof over his head and provides for his children. And maybe that person comes in as a superstar, and they're very smart and intelligent and just needed a shot. And next thing you know, you go, wow, okay, this person isn't just extra truck labor. This person's going to make a great setup assistant or something, and they grow, and you provide for growth and them to show their championship mindset. That's who I want to deal with. I'm not going to hand somebody $20 that can't be bothered to put in a day's work. Now, and we say that cautiously, because there's times where we have families in need and stuff in our community here where we step up and we donate meals and toys and furniture. And, I don't mind doing that when somebody stumbles on hard times. But just because you don't want to bother to work or you don't want to put in the effort, I'm not responsible to take care of you, right? So, but if you see somebody who's struggling and they're good and they really are trying, and you give them a hand up, that's where you do it. Or better yet, you give somebody an opportunity to give themselves their own hand up. That builds champions. That doesn't build losers or average. And I'm not saying that people don't come into hard times in life, guys. I'm not saying that there wasn't a time in life that maybe I was behaving like a loser when I was young. Victim mindset, had a rough upbringing, had to take care of myself on my own, didn't have much money, didn't have much opportunity, had to get any education all on my own, nobody handed it to me, blah, blah. I had every excuse in the book. So if that twinged you and you'd, I didn't like that word or that, come on. Hey, there was a time I guess I would look back and go, I was in a loser state. Nobody's truly a loser. It's a lack of motivation. Nobody's truly just average. It's a lack of motivation. Nobody's just a born champion. Some people are born with some attributes that help, okay? A model, for instance, if she's gorgeous naturally, is going to excel quicker in that environment, but the model that's gorgeous and goes into modeling and starts using drugs and stuff like that and overeating or, undereating or whatever, can ruin the natural talents and gifts too. You can be born 6'7", and that might make you a little bit easier to be a basketball player, but you can't just go, well, I'm 6'7", so I'm all that. You got to practice regardless. Then you got a little guy like Spud Webb who frickin' was 5 foot something and was the best, I forget if it was layups or free throws or whatever it was. Okay, that was sheer champion hard work. So most of us are somewhere in between. Most of us have some cool talents. It might be the way you look on camera. And some people might go, there's no way I don't look on camera at all. I'm not going on camera, but I have a voice, or I have this mind that will not release until I get a solution, whatever it is. It's not all about being, in the public eye on camera. That's not the only champion, or being the boxer. You might be the champion that finally put some effort into curing cancer instead of coming up with more treatments and more ways to create the disease. When we can seemingly figure some things out overnight, but over decades we can't. You might be that champion in a laboratory that goes, I'm not quitting until I find this, and you find it. Okay, you're as much of a champion as Muhammad Ali. I'm not talking about on the outside. I'm talking about the champion on the inside. And you might go, well, I don't really do anything that's special. Well, number one, maybe you need to change what you do. But number two, maybe you need to be the best at what you do. I don't care if you're a cashier at Dollar Tree. You could go, it's $29. Or you could go, hello, how are you today? How's your day? What's good in your day today? And all of a sudden somebody walks out of there and goes, that's the best damn Dollar Tree cashier in the whole wide world. They made me feel like $1 million. You're a champion and you work at Dollar Tree. Or you could be a high-level executive that, your only concept in life is how you can screw somebody to be on top on the deal. You're not so much of a champion, even if you got millions of dollars. Now, you could be a high-level executive with millions of dollars that goes, I want to maximize what I'm doing, but I also want a win-win. Or, every dollar I make over, this, I'm going to create something amazing to help others pull themselves up. Whatever the case is. See, that's the cool thing. The champion, as opposed to average, as opposed to loser mindset, doesn't know financial demographics. It knows grit, blood, sweat, tears, commitment, power of why dynamic. Interesting. So, because sometimes I get people going, oh, you're just, the average man who makes an average living, you're picking on them. Well, not really, because, two people can do the same job and one can be amazing and the other one's average and the other one ain't worth a crap. So you tell me what level you want to play at. Who are you? Are you at loser level? If you are, good news. I don't judge you. You can pull yourself up today. Are you at average level where you're going kind of capped out, but I'm kind of happy? Kind of? Yeah. You can step it up today. Or are you already a champion because you get up each day? And you might still be broke and be a champion. You might still be struggling to build something and still be a champion. It's the attitude, the belief, the heart, the soul that makes the difference, not exactly where you're at today financially or climbing the ladder or this, that, or the other. You see where I'm going with this, guys? So next time you feel like you don't feel like doing something, step up and do it, because remember, champions take action. That is the word, action. Champions take action. Champions are ethical in their actions, let's face it. It would be like me coming on here to tell you one thing and then, trying to slip in a virus into your computer while you're watching me. That's not a champion. That's not ethical. Okay, no, and I wouldn't even know how to do that. But you know what I mean. These are the things that, you can look like a champion. You just got to live like a champion. It's better to live like a champion and look average than to look like a champion and be average. That makes sense. When you do all this stuff, you reinforce that champion mindset, and it becomes easier to call that champion up the more you use it, right? So think of a basketball player. Free throws, boom, 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 making 1 of 10. Keep practicing. Your coach gets you in that spot where there you go, boom, swish, you do it, and all of a sudden it becomes easier. You get in the game, it's easier to call that champion up. Now, it can relate to anywhere in life. I just happen to use basketball as a good example for that. So call up that inner champion. Call him or her and say, let's go. It's time. Today is the day. Why not? It's Monday. It's a fresh week. It's the middle of summer. Whatever reason you want to give yourself. Let me tell you something. You give yourself plenty of excuses why not to, or how to evade doing things you don't feel like doing. How about giving yourself some reasons to do it? Your reason for not doing something or taking action might be, well, it's summer and I'm off of school, or I'm off of this, or, it's a little slower season. So, no, that don't cut it. You could say, it's summer and this is my favorite time of year and it's warm and it's great and I can get outdoors more, and maybe if you're school age or whatever, you're out of school and you can do a job and grow and learn, or go to summer school and get ahead of everybody else, and not to show them that they're less than you, but to show that you're the champion to yourself. Okay? When you show yourself you're the champion, the world knows you're a champion. When you try so hard to show you're a champion and you're not operating from here and it's not in your heart and soul and you don't have that powerful why, it's going to crumble on you. It's like building a building on quicksand. So I'm not here, and I know that some people, I saw a couple people drop off when I used the word loser. And that's probably good. That's not who I want on the feed anyway. It's only within you. I'm not judging you. You know if you're operating at loser status. What I don't want to say is you are a loser. You are average. I do want to tell you you are a champion, because that's something that can push somebody to go, and yes, I am. If you're operating in the loser mindset, it's going to give you loser results. See, I don't care. It's not going to faze me if you go today through the day and have 10 excuses why you don't have a job, or why you go pick up an unemployment check instead of working. You know what? You don't affect me. That's not going to affect me. You might still come spend money with me. You might still watch me. You might still go, oh, this guy's cool. You might still share my stuff. But are you getting fulfilled from that is the question. See, your fulfillment matters to me, but I can't create it for you. So if you're walking around unfulfilled, that's not my fault. It's not your mom and dad's fault. It's not, the government's fault. It's not this, that. It's the lack of you having a powerful enough why to go to the next level. Now you might go, well, I can't go from loser status to a champion overnight. Well, technically you could. There are people that do, but wouldn't it be a great jump to get to average? If you don't have a job and today you go get a job, even if it's an average job, and you're going, this is not what I want to do for my life. I am mortified that I got to work for BurgerFi or Queen or King or Claude or whatever. But you know what? Tomorrow morning you get up and you go to a job. You have taken a huge jump from loser status to average. That's an average job. Now maybe you go in there and you go, you know what? I don't even love this job, but I'm going to do the best I can. And I'm going to make somebody's day each day. I'm going to make sure that somebody remembers me today, because I'm going to go up and above you want some fries with this? Okay? Now I might be using an example that might be somebody younger than you. You might be already in business. You're going, what the hell does this have to do with anything, Coach? So then you don't stay there and go, well, I got a job. This is it. I'm going to retire from McDonald's someday. Maybe you own a McDonald's someday. And God, with the food and stuff that they make, I wouldn't recommend it, but whatever it is. But having that bigger aspiration is what is important. And then when you do that, you've made a jump and you go, oh, okay, so I'm reinforcing I can do this. Well, let's make the jump from average to champion. And how do you do that? You might be, I don't have the education. I don't have this. It's in here. It's a mindset. Like using the fast food example. That person goes from not having a job to going, you know what? I'm going to step into it. I'm going to start doing it. It might not be what I want to do, even when I don't want to go in. I'm going to go in. I'm going to make it a must, and I'm going to do the best I can. That's going to build muscle. It's like going in the gym, and you go, first few times, it's like, oh, this really sucks, and it hurts. And then as you build the muscle, you get stronger, and you take on more challenges. Well, this is the way it is going towards being a champion at whatever you do. That person that's a champion in their heart isn't going to want to stay in that job, even though they do for a while, to get the bills paid, get caught up, get maybe some more education, get a base to where they can start something on their own. A champion will not stay down long. Average will stay average to down for a long time, and the loser mindset will stay down forever. It's all mindset, all mind and heart, guys. That's what I'm conveying to you today. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you don't have $2 to rub together today, or if you're sitting on $2 billion today. Are you in the loser mindset? Are you in the average mindset? Or are you in the champion mindset? The person that doesn't have $2 to rub together goes out and they're digging through scrap, and they're like, I'm going to make $200 today, and I'm going to go to the scrapyard 3 times, and they have goals in the morning, even though they don't have $2 barely to throw in their gas tank to start. At the end of the day, might have that $2. The average person might go, well, I make about $78 a day at work, and that's all I'm going to make anyway, but I'm okay with that because my bills are paid. That's almost more dangerous than the person who's struggling but motivated. Okay, that's a champion. You might go, that's a loser. They don't have $2 in the name. I don't know. If they got a huge goal and they get up and they're the first one out the door and they're running those dumpsters to find scrap before anybody else, to me that sounds like a champion. Oh, now this gets muddy, right? So then you might have to take the $2 million guy who's not happy and he's always afraid, and he's not going to make that next big business investment because he worked so hard to make the $2 million. He could turn it into $5 million, but there's some risk here. Oh, I better just sit on this. I better just keep it in the bank. Is that a champion mindset? Is that even average? That might be a loser mindset with $2 million. You see, those of you who hung on this morning and watched this get the real nugget of gold. Those that popped on and off and were like, well, I already know this, or, oh, he's offensive, or that. They missed the nugget of gold because, you know what, they didn't have the fortitude to hang in through what wasn't comfortable. And that's what I'm talking about, is doing what's not comfortable. If I'm coaching you and we hit a moment of what's not comfortable and you walk out my door, you're done. I can't help you. But if you sit there and go, I'm going to work through this even though this sucks, and I'm going to cry and I'm going to get mad and I'm going to scream and yell, and you make a breakthrough, isn't that what it's all about? See, that's what I'm trying to get to, and that's why I love the fact that I saw people on, off, and our viewer count this morning, because it told me where that person's operating from. You who hung on, you're a champion mindset because you're going, I want to know. I don't care if he made me uncomfortable. I don't care if something offended me momentarily, because my goal is not to offend you. My goal is to get you to move your butt and go forward, right? That should be your goal. Go for the championship. And like I said, it doesn't mean you gotta, you might not be a sports person. You might be going, I'm not going to be the basketball champion. That's not my desire. My champion is to build hospitals where there are no hospitals for people that can't have hospitals, and do something great like that. Your goal might be to be the number one, brand new jet that's going to be built, personal size jet, and be the number one company to do that. You might be the champion of kids who have a certain disorder, and you've got this program that can help kids that can't, that are dyslexic or something, read, because you're going to write this program that's going to help with their reversal on it or something. You might be that champion. I don't know what that is, but what is your inner champion? Do you even know? What are you a champion at right now? What are you the best at right now? And you might go, well, my passion's there, but I'm not the best in the world compared to... Don't compare yourself. It's your grit, your true blood pumping through your veins, through your heart, that burning desire, that the things you do when nobody's looking, the things that you do that nobody else will do, that makes you a champion. What is your champion? Who is that? What is your champion push? What is your champion goal? All right? So I know I've been probably talking for quite a while this morning, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and cut you free to go release your inner champion. No, but seriously, this isn't woo-woo stuff. This isn't BS. But if you have a choice to operate at a loser mentality, an average mentality, or a champion mentality, win, lose, or draw at what you do, which are you going to want to operate at? Which one is going to make you feel like the best man or the best woman you can be? That's what counts. And those that are champions tend to be the biggest contributors and the ones that take the most people with them. So you might go, well, I don't want it all about me. I love people in my community. Great. Raise your community up in the process. Be a champion by doing great things for your community. And that's not handouts. That's hand-ups. Okay? Big difference. And I could rant and rave on that for hours, but I'll save you that. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off this morning. I really, 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 really appreciate each and every one of you. It has been an absolutely amazing start to our week, and I look forward to connecting back with you next Monday. Have an amazing day. Live with faith, energy, passion, and always live your inner champion dream. Have a great day. It's Coach Lew signing off.